Yeah, well, I guess it's rambling time again. Now, I was considering not even making this video because at this point we all know what kind of a shit show the climate thingies really are. Like, all the politicians from all over the world just come together and speak about how fucked the climate is and what we can do to change it. And as per usual, they are traveling in their private jets or their private yachts or their private things, use, the most carbon inefficient way possible to get to a conference where they discuss how to emit less carbon. At this point, it is basically very ironic. I mean, come on, man. This is almost satire at this point. And it is the same year after year after year after year when they discuss the climate goals, so the goals of the whole world to, do something about climate change. And as always, there's not going to be much done. Because after all these years discussing the climate and how we can, prevent a certain climate catastrophe, basically nothing has been done to wholly prevent it. There are still power plants being shut down and replaced by coal or replaced by gas, both of which are very, very detrimental to the environment. And this year again, politicians come in their private jets and their private machines, and it costs a lot and has a lot of emissions, but no one seems to care. Or rather, everyone cares, but the politicians don't change, They do the same shit year after year after year. It's incredible, and nothing changes. Nothing changes whatsoever. It is crazy. Imagine how delusional you must be to actually believe that these people want to change something and want to better something if they don't even stop traveling to these sorts of events in a private jet. Not any event, not some politics event, not some foreign policy event. No, the event to a climate conference where the goal is being discussed to, lower carbon emissions. They travel there with private machines and private jets and stuff. It's amazing. Like, how delusional must you actually be to believe that these people are going to change anything? They're not going to change anything. They're not going to change shit. It's going downhill. It's going very steadily downhill. Well, I guess it's picking up speed, but you know what I mean. And you know what the fun thing is? When I was a little bit younger, a few years younger, I believed, well, let the natural things go their way, If humanity can't deal with this shit, then yeah, maybe we deserve to die. Maybe we deserve to die out. Maybe humanity doesn't deserve to live on. And that has been my opinion for quite some time. I was just thinking, well, we are ruining this planet, so yeah, let's just get rid of the humans and everything will be done. But sadly, that's not exactly the way it is, right? Because at the rate things are going, and that is what I need you to understand to it. If you don't know that, please listen carefully. Because at the rate things are going, it could actually be that the atmosphere is so saturated with carbon and carbon emissions and, all sort of pollution things that humanity doesn't even need to interfere with it anymore. So there's basically a certain tipping point at which not only do the effects of the climate change become irreversible, that's what you always hear, the effects become irreversible and we can't do anything to change it anymore. But that's not really the problem. I mean, don't get me wrong, it definitely is a problem that the effects aren't reversible anymore. But the actual problem is that climate change accelerates. Because at one point, when humans aren't needed anymore and human missions aren't needed anymore, once we are over that tipping point, then the reactions going on and the climate getting worse is actually accelerating itself. It gets faster and faster and faster because more and more of the ice is melting, for example. And what people don't understand about the ice melting, it's also a thing I want to talk to you here, is if the ice melts, not only are the water levels going to rise, right? And oh my god, there's so many stupid people saying, yeah, well, when the water levels rise, we are going to build our houses higher up. But that's not the problem. The problem with the ice melting is we are losing reflection space, right? The ice of huge ice sheets is actually reflecting sunlight back into outer space again. If we lose that reflection surface, we are going to take up more heat, right? And with more heat, basically everything's going down even faster. And like I've said, once we have reached the tipping point, not only is the effect irreversible, but the heating up of our atmosphere actually speeds up without us interfering. We could cut our emissions to zero, and it wouldn't change a thing, right? eventually all animals and basically all plant life. I don't know about all plant life because it could be that there are some organisms like in the sea or something like that that can withstand kind of temperatures and pressures, but unlikely. So at least 99% of animal and plant life is going to die out, and that is only because of human intervention, because humanity brought this planet to a point where the planet could not regenerate on its own, right? When I was younger, I always thought, yeah, well, the planet will regenerate. It's the people who are fucked. But nope, it's the planet. It's the planet. It's not the people. It's not only the people. It's also... Yeah, and at this point, I'm very pessimistic about things because... as shown by this climate conference, and I don't even know what these climate conferences are for, really. We set goals, we don't meet them. We set new goals, we don't meet them again and again and again, and that happens just, all over again. Like, I don't even want to mention the causes, or I don't even want to talk about why I think that nothing really ever changes in that regard. But the way we are going down is a steep one, and it's going to pick up more and more speed, and eventually... Well, it's sad to see that the world's leaders still don't have picked up on this huge problem. They still think it's about money, and they still think it can be fixed somehow in the future. Don't even deal with it now. Just push it off. Later we'll invent something that'll help. No, we need to invent something now. We need to reduce carbon emissions now. But hey, why reduce carbon emissions? When you can fly in a private jet. I guess all your worries just fade away when you sit in this kind of private jet. I don't know. It's crazy how world leaders are still doing that, but guess that's how it is. And yeah, so kind of fucked up, isn't it?